So today, let's look at 2 do's and 2 don'ts in your marriage. Let's look at the 2 don'ts for your marriage first. The first one, don't be selfish. You know, selfishness, in my opinion, is not only one of the greatest issues in marriage, but also in humanity. We want our way. We want what we want. I got to work at this. I got to work hard at it. Most of the time, I do pretty well, but there are times when I'm tired. I'm frustrated. I just want to do what I want to do. I think we can all get there at times. None of us are ever going to do this perfectly, but that should never stop us from fighting it. When I'm selfish, it just doesn't work. At least not long term. Maybe I get my way in the short term, but in the big picture, it's never a win. Second, I'm human and Nancy's human. We will be selfish at times. The key is recognizing when we are and asking each other for forgiveness. Don't be proud. When pride enters a marriage, nothing good ever comes of it. Pride affects trust in a marriage. We shut out our spouse and we don't value their input. We want our spouse to serve us and we don't think we need to return the favor. When we're proud, we can be easily angered or irritable. It affects our closeness with our spouse and our intimacy. You can't connect with a prideful person. We can see ourselves as maybe being better than our spouse. We toss out the team concept in our marriage. For me, pride's a spiritual issue. I'm in effect putting myself in God's place. And that will only bring destruction in my marriage. We need to let God take our prideful self and mold it into someone who is wanting and willing to serve our spouse. Well, those are the 2 don'ts. Let's look at the 2 do's to counter those don'ts. Do put your spouse first, right behind God. So how can you do that? Well, it's putting our spouse's needs ahead of our own. It's loving them as God wants us to love them, no matter what the cost is. Jesus, he was our example. When he entered this world, his role was to serve us. Was there a cost? Yeah. There was a cost for us when we serve. Is there a cost for us when we serve our spouse? Yes. Is the cost worth it? Absolutely. So what will happen if I'm serving Nancy and she is serving me? Well, it's going to make our marriage awesome. Selfishness wants to bust into our marriages and take control. So we have a choice, be selfish or serve. Being selfish destroys relationships. Serving builds and strengthens relationships. You're never going to regret putting your spouse right behind God and serving them as God leads you. Do have humility. Being humble may not be the exact opposite of pride, but it's pretty darn close, isn't it? When we're humble, we recognize when we're wrong, and we apologize. We want to resolve any issues. We want nothing to stand in the way of being close and connected to our spouse. It's we over me, over and over and over. Is being humble easy? Not for many of us, but it is essential to your marriage, and in your marriage, humility in itself connects. It is looking through the world from your spouse's viewpoint and valuing that view, even if it differs from yours. It's letting your spouse be who God created them to be. So are these tips helping your marriage? If they are, I'd love for you to subscribe for more marriage tips and advice on how to build an awesome marriage.